Hello and welcome back to the Open Sorcery. It's Devi, and we're going to be doing another shadow work prompt today. This one, I think, doesn't necessarily have to go under the category of shadow work, but it is a great practice overall. You can have this as a meditation practice. You can include it in your shadow work. But we're looking at perspective, right? So anytime we are faced with an issue, we are faced with a problem, I know I have a tendency to kind of go inside of myself and almost get some horse blinders on, where all I'm seeing is directly in front of me. I'm not seeing my peripheral or what is around me. So I think in these moments, in these times, even in the day-to-day, kind of that contemplation and sitting with yourself, start to put yourself in the perspective of other people. Start to put yourself in outside perspective or anything of that nature. Even, it might sound like a joke, put yourself in the perspective of the animal that you have, like a pet or a horse or a turtle, just as a way to get out of your head and to attempt to see the world from a very different point of view. So I was just having a conversation about Plato's allegory of the cave. And we were talking about perspective and how narrow-mindedness breeds narrow-mindedness. And one of the ways to cure this, because I do believe it is a disease, is to travel and to experience and to have something that is tangible right in front of you versus theoretical. But I think we can also achieve this in theoretical if we actually lend ourselves to thinking from somebody else's point of view, to actually slip into somebody else's shoes, metaphorically. So we'll start with an example, right? You're having an argument. Maybe it's with your parent. You're an adult. Your parent is an adult. Your direction in life is not what they want. They had a very different plan for you. This is a normal kind of argument when you are individuating and you are making decisions for yourself, especially for parents that can be overbearing, right? So in this, you're wanting to spread your wings and fly. You are wanting to experience your flights, your falls, your tumbles, your soaring, but all at your discretion, at your decision, versus strictly adhering to what it is that your parent is wanting you to do. I'm not saying cow to them and just do as they say. That is not what I'm stating. It is more along the lines of, okay, I am seeing this from my perspective. How can I see it from their perspective so that I can relate to them conversationally, so that I can maybe have them understand my point of view? Because this needs to be a two-way street, right? We can only control our own actions, though. So in that, step into the parent's shoes, right? Maybe you're wanting to travel overseas, travel abroad. The parent is a worrywart. We're safe here. You don't speak the language. What about money? Do you have that much time off? Like, constant barrage of anything that is going on. Right? Where is that coming from for them? Is that coming out of a need of control? Or is that coming out of a love of the child a love of their offspring. So instead of meeting hard-headedness with hard-headedness, it's like, hey, I understand that you love me, or I understand your need for control, but I am not that. I am not a dog on a leash. Or in the case of, the parent just loves you and they're caring about you. Hey, I have these contingencies in place. Let me alleviate your fears. Or let me state a boundary so that you're not attempting to control me. Because perspective helps us with several things, right? Whenever we have that perspective and understand motivations, that helps us respond better. And I think too often we get stuck in a mentality of only ourselves and only our perspective, that we're not able to relate to somebody else's perspective. This is why I absolutely adore talking to people from so many different cultures and experiences and widening that, allowing that free flow. Because I see a spark of myself in everybody else, right? And they should see that spark of themselves in me as well. But just because I see that spark of myself in them doesn't mean I have had their experience. So let me try to see it from their perspective. Let me try to understand. Of course, experience is one thing. That is the most tangible, in your hands, right here kind of experience. But allowing yourself to mentally go there, to mentally experience from their point of view, that really does open some doors in your mind to allow a lot of empathy to flow and sympathy. Because there is intellectual empathy where you're not necessarily feeling the feelings as if they were happening to you, and emotional empathy where it feels as if it were happening to you, so you can empathize with them in that. But here, open yourself up. Ignorance is not a crime. Willful ignorance, I believe, should be. And not allowing yourself that growth and that openness, and just maintaining that everything is black and white, and it is only what is in front of my face and only the experiences that I have, is such a linear way of thinking that doesn't really produce a lot of growth in the self. I'm very much in the belief of reincarnation and following along the lines of this is a dream, kind of like the Hindu belief, this is a dream and we are all characters in the God's dream. So we are all the God having the dream in the same sense. But in that, understanding that richness of experience, not necessarily diving in like you're in a pool of experience, but more of like having a cup of it and understanding, oh, that's new, that's different. I can see why people would like this. I can see why people would not like this. And then forming your own opinions through your experience. I think that is one of the best ways that we can help ourselves in our striving for bettering ourselves and striving for creating community around us and for allowing growth within and without. So, perspective. Taking a walk in somebody else's shoes. Even if it is just mentally and you're trying to meditate on it. I think this is a great, great practice. So that you can understand the world around you a little better, understand your place in the world, and understand how your actions may affect other people. So that every ripple that we put out is intentional instead of incidental. But this is Devi on the Open Resourcery, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.